The ancient Olympics was wild, bro. Like, people talk about how degenerate and weird culture is today. Like, people are dressing up like animals. You seen these guys? Furries, they're called. They dress up like animals and go touch bellies in the woods or whatever. Some Christians say the world is about to end because of stuff like this. And look, maybe they're right? Maybe Jesus is about to make his big comeback. But then you open the history book and realize, well, it's like we're not even trying yet. Like, we don't even have anything that comes close to being as degenerate and savage as the ancient Olympic Games. Just even how it started was insane. So the year is 776 BC. We're in Greece, right? And there's a plague, right? People are dying, like a lot. More than normal, because plagues were just a part of life in the ancient world. Before things like vaccines and soap, everyone was just dirty all the time. So plagues were pretty common, but this one was way worse than normal. It was so bad that the king of Greece went to the Delphic oracle, who was the high priestess of the god Apollo, and asked her what he should do to stop the plague. And in response, she was like, Greece is cursed. And so the king was like, oh, dang, I knew it was cursed. So what do I do now? And then she was like, you have to hold a sporting competition at Olympia, and that will lift the curse. I'm serious. That's how the Olympics started. See, turns out Greek legend spoke of sporting games that were held in Olympia in the honor of Zeus in the past, like way before 776 BC. And they held them every 4 to 5 years. And so the oracle was basically saying, if you start that back up again, it will make Zeus happy and he'll lift the curse. Because how else are you going to stop a plague, right? So King Iphitos, that was his name, cleared some land at Olympia and held a foot race. That was it. It was like a 100-meter dash, probably, But shortly after, the plague cleared up and people stopped dying. And because of that, the king became obsessed with hosting these Olympic Games every 4 years. And with every successive Olympic game, things got more out of hand. The games became so popular that people wanted to move to Olympia just to be near Olympia for the Olympics. Olympia became like the party city of Greece, like the Las Vegas of Greece. The city became the site of a building boom. They built a massive arena, shrines, training facilities for the athletes, and during the Olympics, over 40,000 people would flood Olympia just to experience it. It eventually became a 5-day event with non-stop eating and drinking. Everyone was just drunk the whole time, probably except for the athletes who spent the last 4 years training to be in peak physical condition. Because if you won at the Olympics, you would be an overnight celebrity. Now, only men could compete at the Olympics. There were no women athletes. Also, the athletes had to compete completely naked, no clothes at all, which, pretty gay, right? At this point in time, there were no medals. If you won, you just got fame, and that was still pretty good for the athletes, who, after competing, I imagine, would also feast and drink and just have a bunch of sex until their heart's content. Truly, it was just pure hedonism. As for the itinerary for the Olympic Games, there was a carnival, a track meet, martial arts, a banquet, chariot racing, and a brothel. Yes, going to the brothel was a part of the Olympic experience. If you didn't engage in prostitution at the Olympics, that would be like going to Las Vegas and not visiting a casino. It's just like, what's the point, And to facilitate such a hedonistic event, special rules were put in place for attending women. Rule 1, no wives. No married women were allowed, which, considering that the athletes were all naked, I guess that makes sense for the husbands, right? Don't want your wife looking at this athlete's package over here. Married men, on the other hand, were warmly welcomed. But the only women who were allowed to come were single women and prostitutes. Lots and lots of prostitutes. But it wasn't all fun and games at the Olympics. Many of the athletes left horribly maimed or in a coffin. Dead, yes, very dead. Blood and gore was a highlight of several of the sporting events. In particular, the martial arts events, which included boxing, wrestling, charioteering, and freestyle fighting, meaning no rules. You could just grab a man right by the coconuts, which, being naked must have made that very easy. But the most important thing that happened at the Olympics was the ritual sacrifice to Zeus. Remember, this all started as a way to please Zeus so that he would bless and protect Greece. And so that was always front and center at the Olympic Games. And that would ultimately be the reason the Olympics was brought to an end for almost 1500 years. Because in 393 AD, the Christian Roman Emperor Theodosius I banned all pagan ceremonies, and there would not be another Olympic Games until 1859, which, of course, featured far more clothing and a lot less prostitution and pagan god worship. Food and drinks, however, can still be found at the venue. And that is what the ancient Olympics were like. If you enjoyed this video, please like this video, hit that like button, and subscribe to this channel. Let me know in the comment section, would you have attended the ancient Olympic Games in Greece? And if you did, what event would you have most liked to see or participate in? Don't forget, they were naked. Okay, thank you for watching, and until next time, goodbye.